That's not mine.
What's not yours?
The pen. I've never...
During the previews of a few of the movies we've gone to see lately, I saw a little preview for Tomorrowland, and I lost it. I thought this movie looked so great, so the bar was set very high going to the theater for this one. This is starring George Clooney. This is a Disney movie, and Britt Robertson as the young chosen one.
Very RPG-like, right?
Very RPG-like. Well, a lot of these movies that are catering to a younger audience now want to have that one young adult that's the chosen one, so you can relate to that one chosen one, because they all want to feel special, and she's chosen because she's special.
It's interesting that you started talking about this thing from the trailer first, because I think that is the story about Tomorrowland. This is an out-of-nowhere idea from director Brad Bird, and he plays with a lot of really interesting themes in this movie, but I think this has been an incredibly difficult film for Disney to market, and he is riffing on the concept of what if Tomorrowland, the park attraction, was a real place that we could aspire to get to.
Okay, so you've gone to Tomorrowland.
I've gone to Tomorrowland and Disneyland, which is just a section of the park. Disney is scattered throughout this in a literal sense, but also in the IP properties that it contains. The sort of meat of this film is very confusing and very preachy. I think that there was an agenda here from Brad Bird to tell us to be free to imagine, and to dream and cherish escapism.
And then to not just talk about the things we're doing that are destroying our Earth, but to actually do something about it.
And these are like key parts of what the plot of this movie is about. And I don't envy any of the marketers that had to put a trailer together around this, because you are going to see some beautiful CG'd vistas and some great effects. There's so many effects in this movie. It's so animated. And this is from an animation movie director, a champion of animation.
And all those moments are beautiful.
They are, but it also feels a little disconnected from the performance standpoint. I think Clooney is pretty strong, but he feels a little bit out of sync with the younger actors. He has so many scenes with Britt Robertson, who plays Cassie, and she's phenomenal and vibrant and very alive, and he's obviously playing a cranky older guy. They felt a little out of sync. He's always just barking at her, and then snappiness in her intelligence.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, and I felt like there was just too much of that, which made the movie feel really long. This movie felt so long. I yawned a lot, and I felt bad every time. I know, I felt bad every time I was doing it, because there's still a good message there. There's still a good story. There's still good writing there. But the way it's strung together, there should have been a lot that was cut out, really, because a lot of these moments...
very indulgent,
Yes, a lot of these moments that they had back and forth, it didn't get to me. And I don't know if it's going to get to really any kind of audience. I'm not sure about younger people going to this movie, because there is some violence here. I mean, they really are smashing up these robots.
That's kind of the problem with the film, is that it feels very kid-centric, and then there's bombs going off on screens, and the idea that the world is hopelessly lost, and stark cynicism scattered in amongst all of this cheery, beautiful CG sort of artwork all over the place. And I like its convoluted style, and I like that it's appropriating all of these really amazing sci-fi bits of lore and this time period as well. Like Brad Bird, obviously, he brought us Iron Giant. He's a fan of that 50s style of functionality and look and quality. It just never emotionally lifted me. It never really said, I never said, I'm in the moment and in the shoes with all of these characters.
I did feel that way off the top. I got into it right off the top with this young kid. Looks just like Clooney. He's so great. He's so sweet. He brings us into this world because he's dreaming, and he has this little jetpack that he made, and he's so excited to share it, and he brings us to Tomorrowland, and it's so great and so wonderful, and I'm in it. And then it just goes into other places, into other cities, and I just don't care enough about everything else that's happening in this movie, which makes me so sad.
Like, this is balls out. Everybody went full on to come up with a very distinct visual style.
There's money in this movie.
A lot of money, and a lot of really top-level actors in this thing. Hugh Laurie has a big part in this thing.
Can we fix it?
It's probably over CG'd as well. I feel like, as big as the picture is, at times it feels like a three-hander with this, fake video game backdrop in there. And speaking of games, I think the movie pokes at our video game consumption a little bit and questions it. But I think it borrows from games like BioShock and Mass Effect in some degree, and Portal.
And all of these games, yes, because it does remind you of a video game. You could play this as a video game. It just wouldn't be very compelling, unfortunately. I love the idea of the story here, but the movie itself was not entertaining enough to see me through.
Yeah. What are you going to give Tomorrowland?
Honestly, I love you, Brad Bird, but I just did not love this film. It's getting a 5.
Yeah, me neither, unfortunately. 6.5 from me.
EP's movie coverage is brought to you by Nintendo. Check out Xenoblade Chronicles 3D for the new 3DS.